Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is a requested video for how I make my beaded little corn on the cob. So this is what it looks like, very cute. So to make one of these you will need some size 11 seed beads in green, some size 11 seed beads in yellow, and optional, but I like to do just a random few white beads as well. You know, like those on the corn on the cob, you always have those lighter coloured little bits. So I'm going to add in a few white beads as well. You'll also need your beading thread and beading needle. Let's get started. So first thing you need to do is thread your needle, and I've got about 42 inches of thread, and that's to make this without filling in the back with green. So if you want to fill in the back with green as well, you're going to need quite a bit more thread than that. First thing you need to do is pick up 3 yellow beads and slide those down to the end, leaving a few inches so that you can sew your tail thread back in at the end. Then you're going to go up through that first bead. So you have this triangle. Now you're going to be putting 2 beads in between each of those. So pick up 2. Coming out of this one, go straight into the next one in the circle. So your 2 beads stack there like that, then picking up another 2 and going straight into the next one in the circle. Picking up 2 more. Coming out here, you're going to go straight into the next one. So you've got this, and now you're coming out of this bead here. You need to step up into the one above so that you're ready to add some more beads on the next row, like that. Now we're going to be putting 1 bead on each corner and 1 bead in between those as well. So picking up 1. We're coming out here, we're going to go straight down into that bead next to it. Picking up another, I'm going to skip over 1 and go through the next one. Picking up another one, and by the way, I'm just going to randomly pick up the white beads, so that's up to you how many you want to pick up or not at all. So I'm coming out of this one, I'm going to go straight down into the next bead. Picking up another one. Now I'm going to skip over 1 and go through the following bead. Picking up another one. Coming out of this bead, I'm going to go straight down into the one next to it. Okay, and the last bead of this row, picking up your last bead. Coming out of this bead here, we're going to skip over 1, go through the next one, and also step up into that one above as well. So you're going through, skipping over 1 and going through the next 2 beads like that. This time we're just going to be putting 1 bead in between those 6 beads that we've now got on the top row. So these 6 beads that sit up higher than the rest, you're just going to pick up 1. Coming out of this one, you're going to skip over the one underneath and go through the next one on the outer row. Picking up another. You're coming out of here, you're going to skip over 1 and go through the next one. Picking up another one. Coming out of here, skip over 1, go through the next one, which is on the outside row. Picking up another one, skip over 1, go through the next one. So you do that 6 times until you're all the way around the circle. So picking up another one, skipping over that one underneath and going through the next one. Picking up 1, skipping the one underneath, going through the next one and up into the one above. So once you've added 6 beads, that's your last bead. So you're going to go through that last one and also into this next one above, which is actually the first bead we added in this row. So it should look like that. So pull it nice and tight, and if you encourage these edge beads to sit up, so if you squeeze them into the centre as you pull it tight, it should start to curl up a little bit, like this. Okay, so the next row is exactly the same, so I'll just show you again. So you're picking up one, you're skipping over one and going through the next one on the top row. Picking up one, coming out of this one, skip over one, go through the next one on the top row. Picking up one, skip over one, go through the next one on the top row. And you need to do that 6 times all the way around. So pick up one, skip over one, go through the next one. Pick up one, skip over one, go through the next one. And then when you get to the last one, you do the same thing, so skip over one, go through the next one, but then also go through the one after that as well. And make sure each time that you pull it really tight, don't want any gaps. So now we have this. So now you need to do 12 more rows exactly the same. So 12 more rows where you're putting 1 bead in each of these spaces. So 6 beads total in a row and then step up. 6 beads and then step up. So you need to do that same thing for 12 more rows. So adding one, skip over one. So picking up one, skipping over one, going through the next bead. And doing that all the way around, then stepping up and then starting a new row. So you need to do that 12 more rows, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I've done 12 more rows, and this is what I've got. So it should look like this, and you should be exiting out of one of the beads on the top row. Now you're going to pick up another one, and this time, coming out of this one, you're going to skip over one, go through the next one, and then without picking up another bead, you're going to skip over another one and also go through the next one. So when we pull it tight at the end, that thread is going to cinch those 2 beads together. So then picking up another one. So we're coming out here, we're going to skip over one, go through the next one, and then without picking up another bead, skip over another one and go through the next one. So really you're going through the next 2 on the top row, like that. And picking up your last one of this row. So I'm coming out of this one here, so I'm going to skip over one and go through the next 2 on the top row, like that. Now I'm going to step up into the bead above, as always, and then I'm going to pull it really tight. And those threads that I was telling you about are going to join together and bring it in, like this. Now this row, we're just going to pick up one. Coming out of this one, you're going to skip those 2 which are underneath and go through the next one, which is on the top row, which is probably going to be easier to see on your own piece. Again, picking up another one, skipping over those 2 underneath and going through the next one. Finally, picking up one, skip the 2 underneath, go through the next one, and as always move into the one after that as well. So now we're here, and what you need to do now, and if you can see, there's this triangle of beads on the top, like how we started at the bottom. You're just going to circle through those 3 beads to bring them all together. Pull it nice and tight. So now we have this. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to add the green. So you should be coming out of one of these centre triangle beads. So I'm coming out of this one, so I'm going to move down through this one next to it. So you're coming out of this bead here. Now we're going to move through down, we're coming out of here, we're going to move down through this one underneath. This is where that bridge of thread connects the 2 beads together. You're going to go through that next bead. So you're coming out of this one, you're going to skip that one underneath and go through the next one. So that's where you need to be exiting out of. So all the way down the side of your corn you've got these straight lines of beads, if you can see that, like this. So you need to be exiting out of the top bead in one of those straight lines. Can be any of these. So I'm exiting out this top bead in this line, and then they run all the way around. So now you need to pick up 2 of your green beads. And so you're coming out the top bead in, like I said, this straight line of beads. You're going to skip these beads in the row next to you. You're going to be going through the ones in the row after. So you're coming out of this one, you're going to go in, not into the row next to you, but the one after it, into the bead that's like level with the one you're coming out of. So I'm going to go into this one. That. The beads stack together like this. So now I'm coming out of this one. On this side, I'm going to go into the one directly below it and through it in that direction. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 2 more green beads. So I'm coming out of this one this time, so I'm going to skip the middle row and go through the next one in the row after that that's level, it's on the same row. So now I'm coming out of this bead here, I'm going to go into the one below in this direction, so I'm ready to add my next 2 green beads. So then picking up another 2 green beads, coming out of this one, I'm going to go into the next one 2 rows apart that's directly at the same level. Like that. So then I'm coming out of that one there, that white one. So I'm going to go into the one below in that direction. So you need to do that 5 more times till you've got 5 more rows of these 2 green beads. So do that all the way down until you've got a total of 8 rows of these green beads, so 5 more. So once you've added those, you should have this. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of the 2 green beads. So we're at the bottom of the piece again now. So when you've added your last 2, you should be coming out of this bead here, or on the other side, the same bead, but on the other side, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to pick up 3 green beads, and so you're coming out of this yellow one here, you need to go into the yellow one that your green bead is connected to on this side. That one, the one that your green bead's coming out of. Like that. So they loop round like that. Now you're going to move up into this green bead, and you're just going to travel down through the next one, up through the next one, down through the next one, all the way until you get to the top of the piece again. Okay, so now I'm at the top here. Now I'm going to pick up 3. So I've got my 3. I'm coming out of the bottom of this one. I'm going to go up through the bottom of the one on the other side like that. So we have this, and then I'm going to go back up through that one on the other side. And now I'm going to move into a yellow bead. So this yellow bead right here that's right next to it, I'm going to move into that one. Okay, and now you need to decide where you want your second green bit to be. So it's going to depend how much of the corn you want showing on the front. So what you need to do to decide that is you need to again look at these rows. So like your green beads are going to take like 3 rows, so you're going to come out of this one and go into this one. So your green beads would sit there, so you need to bear that in mind. So if I was to do it, if I wanted it there, then I'm going to move my thread round until it's coming out of this bead on this row. If I wanted it here, I'm going to move round to one of these beads on this row because that's going to connect to this side. So you need to think about how much space you want between your green things and get yourself positioned at the top bead of one of these rows where you want it to start. Okay, so I've positioned my thread around here. I'm going to have my next one sitting right here, sort of directly opposite it. So that's up to you. So if you wanted yours to be like closer together here, you could come out the top bead of this row, if you see what I mean. And then you're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. So picking up 2, I'm coming out the top bead here, so I'm going to go into the one 2 rows away that's sitting in line with it. And then I'm going to move up into the one below. Picking up 2, I'm going to move across into the one, skipping a row and going into the next one. Moving up, and so yeah, you're going to do that until you've got your 8 rows. In some cases you'll only be able to fit 7 rows. It depends which one of these you decided to start your green bit from, but it doesn't matter, 7 or 8 rows, it doesn't matter. So do that all the way down, and I'll show you what to do next. So I've gone all the way to the bottom again, and I'm coming out of again this bead on this side, which is the white one this time. I'm going to pick up 3 beads like we did last time, and I'm going to go into the yellow bead that the other green bead is connected to on the other side. So they sit together like that. Now I'm going to move up into this green one again, and then I'm going to zigzag down through the next one, up through the next one, all the way until I get to the top again. Okay, so I'm at the top, and then I'm going to pick up 3 more green beads and go into the bead next to it, like that. Now I need to move that down to the bottom, so I'm going to do the same thing but on this side. So I'm going to go, you know, down and up through these beads like I'm sewing, just to get back down to the bottom. Okay, so I'm back down at the bottom, and then I'm going to sew through all 3 of these extra beads that we added here on the bottom, like that. Pull my tail thread nice and tight so it keeps coming undone. And then I'm going to pick up 3 more green beads. I'm coming out this side. I'm going to go back through those 3 beads, but from the other side, like that. make sure they flip into the middle. Then I'm going to go back into those 3 beads that we just added, pull it down, picking up another 3, and I'm coming out this side this time, so I'm going to take those 3 into the other side and go through all 3 again, like that, flip it over and go back through the 3 that we just added. I think 3 is going to be enough. If your beads are slightly smaller, you might have room for another row, but I'm going to make mine stretch, because if I put another row in, it's going to bunch up, it's going to be too many. So now I'm going to connect this one to this last group of 3 that's on the other side. So I'm coming out this side, so I'm going to go into this side, through all 3 of them, and then back through the 3 that I was coming out of originally. Pull that nice and tight. So now we have this. So that's how I made this corn on the cob. Now if you wanted to fill in the back, if you've done your green ones quite close together at the front and you've got a big space at the back and you wanted to fill it in, I haven't actually tried this, but I have a feeling that if you move back, let me just move back this way, first group of 2 green beads, so I'm coming out of this one. Actually, you need to be coming out of this side of the bead, so you don't want to be coming out the top of the bead, you need to be coming out the underside. And then what you could do is pick up a row of green beads, so I'm just guessing, but I don't know how many it's going to be, but pick up a row of green beads like that, and then sew into the matching bead on the other side, so the first one through this bottom side, not through the top, like that. And I'll just show you, this is not how you'd do it properly, but like that, and then they'd sit and cover that space, and then you'd sew up into the next one and do the same again all the way up, and it would cover in that space with green beads. But I'm not going to do that, but that's optional. If you wanted to do that, that might work out okay. And if not, then like me, you are finished. So all you need to do now is tie some knots with your thread and your tail thread and cut them off, and then you're done. So that's the finished corn on the cob, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I think the little white beads really make it look more realistic. I think it's really cute, because obviously the yellow beads, like little seed beads, look like little pieces of corn anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and comment down below if you did and what else you'd like to see. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more of my videos, and follow me on Instagram at BeadingbyHannah. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.